What is going on, guys? Welcome back to KraftTalk, and today we are talking about the insufferable topic of NFTs. So let's get into it, shall we? So we got like multiple articles here. Let's start off with from Forbes. What you need to know about non-fungible tokens. So NFTs have been exploding. Everywhere you look on Twitter and even YouTube and in the gaming sphere, everyone's talking about, oh, NFTs. Oh, they're gonna be amazing. Whilst you have other experts saying that they're a bubble poised to pop, like the .com craze or Beanie Babies. And then there's people who believe NFTs are the future, that they're going to be part of the metaverse, which we'll get onto later. So what is an NFT? An NFT is a digital asset that represents real-world objects like art, music, in-game items, or videos. Well, it doesn't have to actually resemble real-world objects. It can also just be a digitally created thing, like those fucking apes. You know the ones I mean. The really ugly ones that are on the screen right now. So very much like cryptocurrency, NFTs run on the blockchain, but unlike cryptocurrency, that's where the change ends. NFTs are generally meant to be one of a kind or one of a very limited series and have unique identifying codes. Essentially, NFTs create digital scarcity. There's Ari Yu, chair of the Washington Technology Institute Industry Association, Cascadia Blockchain Council, and managing director of Yellow Umbrella Ventures. Holy crap, you really wanted a title, didn't you? Now, whilst these people keep telling you that NFTs are there to create digital scarcity, what they don't tell you is that there's no way of anyone just copying, right-clicking, and saving that piece of work that you claim to enjoy, that thing that you paid money for. There's nothing stopping people just right-clicking, downloading, and saving it to their computer, along with downloading the videos or whatever else it is. Not to mention that there isn't any agreement that you actually own the thing. All there is a receipt. But as for actually who owns the copyright and intellectual property, well, that's a whole different question altogether, isn't it? So let's get into how NFTs work. NFTs exist on the blockchain, which is distributed public ledger that records transactions. You're probably most familiar with blockchain as the underlying process that makes cryptocurrencies possible. Specifically, NFTs are typically held on the Ethereum blockchain, although other blockchains support them as well. An NFT is created or minted from digital objects that represent both tangible and intangible items, including art, gifts, videos, blah, 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 blah. Let's also just discuss the fact that the origins of these are dubious. Video game avatars and video game skins. So let's get into that aspect, shall we? NFTs in gaming, what it means. Oh, and we have Ubisoft to bless for this one, for starting this off. So obviously, we all know by now that Ubisoft announced that it was doing NFTs. With that in mind, Ubisoft was very certain themselves that they should push NFTs. We have an article here by Forbes, and there's comments in it, such as, I still really don't understand the problem being solved here. Is it really worth the extremely negative publicity this will cause? As employees were wondering about, the push to bring NFTs to Ubisoft games. Another one saying, how can you look at private property, speculation, artificial scarcity, and egoism, then say, yes, this is good. I want that. Let's put it in art. And then another person says, I normally try to stay positive on our announcements, but this one is upsetting. It's a bad sign when your own employees find the announcements and decisions of a company upsetting. But what is further to note is that whilst Ubisoft did add NFTs to their game, specifically Ghost Recon, they barely sold any, which is wonderful. And, oh, God. So it says in here in this article that 15 sales equated to $1,755. That means that at least 15 people spent $117 on that trash. But they only managed to sell 15 out of the 3,000 that they minted. So I suppose that's a generally good indicator that the gaming market is not taking kindly to NFTs entering the fray. However, it's not just Ubisoft. Stalker 2 is getting NFTs, including one that lets you become an in-game metahuman. Yes, so it's all about the metaverse, right? Paying to own stuff that we actually don't own. I was actually looking forward to this game coming out. So Stalker 2 Hearts of Chernobyl is one of the bigger releases of 2022. And for better or worse, it's going to feature one of the biggest tech trends going into next year. Oh god, NFTs being called a tech trend. GSD Game World, which is developing the game, has announced Stalker Metaverse, which will use blockchain technology to let the community own a piece of Stalker 2. That includes the opportunity to become the first ever metahuman, which GSD Game World appears to define as a non-player character rendered in very high detail. Though a sportsman confirmed a metahuman won't be made with Epic Games' MetaHuman Creator Tool. Oh god, there's an Epic Games MetaHuman Creator Tool. GSC Game World is partnering with NFT platform D-Market on the new items. So that's what it came down to for Stalker. Someone is going to end up randomly being an NPC in the game for no other apparent reason as to say, we did it. It makes you really love the gaming industry, right? When developers and publishers, what they're focusing on is not bringing you a fantastic game that you'll love and enjoy and pay for and actually, feel like you got your worth out of it. They'd rather focus on gimmicky contests like this. So for whoever does end up with the NFT, here's how the process of becoming an NPC in the game will work. The idea of the related NFT is to give the right to recreate its owner's identity within the game through one of the NPCs. The person will need to come to our studio for a detailed scanning procedure, and after that, we will have everything to make this person appear in the game world as one of the characters. So essentially, what they're gonna do is you're going to win the right for them to recreate you and put you in their game. Yes, they're going to give you the right for them to recreate you, not you give them the right to put your likeness in the game. Just think how messed up that is. Try and wrap your head around it. But it wasn't just Stalker 2 who wants to add NFTs to their games. Square Enix president believes NFTs and blockchain tech will be a major trend this year. Square Enix's president Yosuke Matsuda has published a letter in which he expresses hope that NFTs and blockchain technology will become a major trend in gaming. In a New Year's letter, Matsuda expressed what he believes will be a major areas of growth for the industry in 2022, including cloud gaming, AI, and blockchain games. The latter are built upon the premise of a token economy and therefore hold the potential to enable self-sustaining game growth, said Matsuda. NFTs were met with a great deal of enthusiasm by a rapidly expanding user base. However, we do observe examples here and there of overheated trading in NFT-based digital goods with somewhat speculative overtones, regardless of the observed value of the content provided. In his letter, Matsuda wrote of a distinction between those who play to have fun and those who play to contribute, which is absolutely absurd because I play games for fun, not to feel like it's my second bloody job, right? In his view, however, NFTs will incentivize contributions and inspire more user-generated content in games. I believe this will lead to more people devoting themselves to such efforts and to create greater possibilities of games growing in exciting ways, from having fun to earning to contributing. A wide variety of motivations will inspire people to engage with games and connect with one another. It is blockchain-based tokens that will enable this. So yeah, that's where they're going with play-to-earn games and NFT digital items. And let's not forget that Konami's in on this as well. They earned over 118,000 from that Castlevania NFT auction. Yes, they sold 14 items and The average selling price for each item was apparently £8,700. Converted, that is $12,000. So people paid on average $12,000 for one of these NFTs. Artwork, video clips, and music tracks were hawked as NFTs on the OpenSea auction site this week using the controversial Ethereum currency. The digital items included new pixel art, familiar music tracks, plus odd highlight movie clips from the series. Each also includes unlockable content, which reportedly can only be unlocked and revealed by the owner. Konami also stands to make more money from the auction items, as the publisher nets a stunning 10% royalty should an NFT be sold on again. And that says it all right there. You ever wanted further proof that you really don't own something? That's when the thing you sell, you have to pay the original person you bought it from 10%. It's absurd. And apparently at the end of this article, there's also new trademarks and logos for Sega's foray into NFTs that have surfaced. New Sega trademark and logos emerged for Sega NFT and for a Sega Classic NFT collection too. But this is everywhere. This is what it's like. There's top 20 NFT games of 2021 where play to earn, more play to earn, or just alien worlds where you can buy land, tools, weapons, avatars, none of which you really own because once the game goes down, you no longer have access to it, right? Once the game's no longer up, you can't use your land in the game. You can't play the game. It's gone. And then these poor people are going to think this stuff has value. And that's the worst part about it, is people losing money from this. Here's why NFTs are crypto's latest pump and dump scheme designed to make crypto insiders rich. So let's try and get through this fast. The intrinsic value of an NFT is zero. When you buy an NFT, you're not buying the underlying object. You're buying an entry into a distributed database, which allows you to pass that on to somebody else. There's also a bit of code in there that points to the digital object somewhere on the internet, but that's basically it. So you don't actually get the item. You just get a bit of code that points to the item that exists somewhere on the internet. That could go down at any moment, and you could lose forever. An NFT doesn't convey copyright or any legal rights at all unless there's a specific contractual agreement saying so. The digital artwork itself continues to live on the internet, available for anyone to admire, watch, listen to, or copy without paying a penny to the original owner. So you even have no control over the actual item. People can do with it whatever they want, and you can't stop them. Jorge Stolfi, a computer science professor at the University of Campinas in Brazil, says the very idea of a digital collectible makes no sense at all. A purely digital artifact, a pattern of bits like a JPEG image or a MP3 song file, cannot be a collectible because it can be duplicated trillions of times, and every copy is exactly the same as the original, not just similar or even identical, but the same thing. He likens NFTs to the International Star Registry. In 1979, Ivor Downey, a Canadian, had the idea of selling the stars in the sky. So basically, you bought a star and you name it for your wife or spouse or someone, or after one of your kids, right? But you don't actually own the star or anything, right? Everybody, well, almost everybody understood that the registry provides only pretend ownership, not legal right or possession of the star, Stolby says. Here's the difference. While the price of stars on the registry never rose above $100, NFT prices skyrocketed. What's driving their value? And basically, it's bidding wars. It's this idea that they're valuable. Essentially, it's user created value. See, the original creators sell them for a price, right? And as more people buy them, the price goes up. And what actually creates the value for these things is the bidding wars themselves. So, for example, the NFT linked to Beeple's Everydays shot up because the buyer who went only by Metacorvin, Jesus Christ, these usernames, who was revealed later to be entrepreneur Vignesh Sundaresan, was locked in a bidding war with Justin Sun, the CEO of Tron Blockchain. He paid to place the winning bid the final moments of the auction, making him an instant celebrity and bringing heaps of attention to another project he had been pitching, his B20 token, a way to fractionalize an earlier series of Beeple NFTs he's acquired. His strategic plan to triple or quadruple his investment. It turns out this wasn't this guy's first rodeo. So basically, all these people are in it inside the cryptocurrency world, right? And they're all driving the prices up together, and that's just how it works, and that's what creates the value or supposed value of this nonsense. So what's trading is when assets are bought and sold by the same people who drive up the price. So they'll sell it to the second, account, and then that account will sell it to another account, and that account will sell it to another account, each time going up and up and up, increasing the value of it until the price rises to a point where they'll sell it onto somebody else who thinks that they're getting an investment out of it, and that they're getting a fantastic deal because the prices will be going up. So here's the example that they gave in this article. I'm into an NFT and I buy it from myself for 1 million, giving that NFT a value of 1 million based on its price history. I then sell that NFT at half price in a fire sale to someone who doesn't know any better, and you've just made $500,000 off the NFT that you minted, whilst that person's just lost 500k thinking that that NFT was a great deal and a great investment, when in fact it's actually worth nothing. Not to mention that you don't actually even own it in the first place, right? You don't own the copyright or the intellectual property. So here is an example. CryptoKitties, collectible breedable cats on the Ethereum blockchain, one of the earlier use cases of NFTs. They were a huge hit after their launch in 2017, with one of the highest priced cats selling for 155,000 in Ether. 6 months later, prices were down 95%, which means that that person lost $147,250. Holy crap! And that's not to mention even the theft. NFT theft is still plaguing DeviantArt despite fraud detection tool. Months ago, DeviantArt announced that a new NFT theft AI system would detect when artwork from their site was found on NFT marketplaces like OpenSea and Axie Marketspace. It's a system that's available for all DeviantArt core members, the DeviantArt membership system available to artists. All levels of the membership system have unlimited NFT scanning across blockchain marketplaces, with an alert prompting the DeviantArt artist if their work has been found on any of these places. Back in September, when the system was initially being rolled out, Twitter user Acreon called out OpenSea for hosting stolen artwork from their DeviantArt page, in case you're wondering what the fuss is about. This treads the line of copyright infringement and art theft. But the problem is, all it does is alert the artist. And artists are saying that their work is getting ripped off and being sold without their consent. Trier, a painter in San Antonio, often ripped on Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night, adding dogs or dinosaurs to it, or reimagining it as a desert landscape, a Mordor, blah blah blah. She sells versions on mugs and mouse pads and pillows, and over the years she's caught and stopped people selling pirated versions of her work on Amazon and other online marketplaces. However, because of the NFT art market, these have started stealing her work at jaw-dropping rates. Last week, an unidentified user on OpenSea, the dominant marketplace for NFTs, started putting tens of thousands of listings of her work, often duplicates, up for sale. 37 of them sold before she was able to convince the platform to take them down. They just kept taking and remaking them as NFTs, she said. It's so flagrant, and if it happens to me, it can happen to anyone. And this story has become common in the NFT art sales. RJ Palmer, a San Francisco artist who designs creatures and monsters, authors commissioned digital works, and for movies and video games companies, said issuing takedown requests to NFT platforms for his work became a daily routine before he eventually gave up. And that's what it is. People give up because it's just endless and it's fighting every single one. It got to be too many. It became this part of my day, Palmer said, adding that he would constantly send emails trying to get NFTs taken down. This is putting so much work on me and I just don't want to deal with it. So, even from the perspective of a buyer, the thing you're buying could be stolen, which puts you even more hot water than thinking about it, you just losing money. You could be potentially involved in helping steal someone's artwork and funding that exploit. While NFT proponents tout the technology as a way to revolutionize art patronage, the digital marketplaces have not done enough to stop piracy. And these platforms keep saying that they take it seriously, like OpenSea spokesperson saying, "We take art theft seriously and have policies in place to meet our obligations to the community and deter theft on our platform. And the company is actively expanding our efforts across customer support, trust and safety, and site integrity." which doesn't help for the artists who essentially losing money and having their work ripped off or being associated with potentially scam deals like this recent deal here. NFT rug pull leaves investors 1.3 million out of pocket. That's right. Someone decided to create some NFTs, and then once they got the money, they ran. A Frosty's rug pull cost investors in the OpenSea marketplace. Overnight news hit the wires of the creators of the Frosty's NFT collection disappearing after investors paid 1.3 million in cartoon ice cream NFTs. In this case, anonymous creators reportedly collected investor funds from the sale of 8,888 NFTs. The Ethereum proceeds were reportedly close to 1.3 million. OpenSea was unable to take action this time around as the NFTs remain in the marketplace, while the sales proceeds and the creators have gone. The latest scamming seemed to be the first rug pull of the year, which is a scam where promotion of digital asset via social media. Once the scammer has driven up the price, the scammer sells the asset and the digital asset becomes worthless. Not to mention, at the end of last year, a thief stealing famous art gallery Todd Kramer's NFT collection from his hot wallet, and in this case, they were able to stop the assets from being taken. Should the NFT marketplace experience more scams, the NFT marketplace could come under scrutiny from other jurisdictions. And that's what it comes down to, right? It comes down to what's going to happen in the future. But this has been ingrained into the gaming world as well. Frankly, it looks like NFTs are here to stay, at least in the short term, ruining games in general, and essentially just scamming people out of money that they think is worth something, for NFTs that they think is worth something, when in reality it isn't worth anything. When the game shuts down, they're going to lose access to that thing. When the game's gone, all that money and time that they wasted putting into that game is gone. But games companies are all happy to jump on this to make the money, to make the bank, to get what they want, which is more money out your pocket, right? And they'll do it in the scummiest ways possible by making everything they can in NFT. And there's still the greater question, right, of remuneration for artists, music studios, films, all sorts of people who create stuff that is getting ripped off, installed on these marketplaces. Let me know what you guys think down below about NFTs and their future. Do you think they're the future of gaming, the future of society, the future of the metaverse? Do you think we'll all be buying digital land in the future? Do you want to buy digital land in the future? And always bear in mind that this is code that can be copied, that you have actually no copyright claim over or ownership of. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.